In the United States, 16.2 million Americans, or approximately 6.7% of the adult population, will experience a major depressive episode this year. Major depressive disorder, or simply called depression, is characterized by an episode that lasts a period of 2 weeks where you experience a low mood that maintains no matter what the situation is that you're experiencing during that 2-week period. Depression is believed to be caused by genetic disorder, environmental factors, and psychological factors. I myself suffered from major depression starting from late middle school all the way through the end of my 20s, and I believe that I have overcome my depression without the aid of a therapist or antidepressants, and that's what I want to talk with you about today. On the heels of my video about how to be happier, I realized there's some preliminary work that could be done for people who are maybe not at a stage where they can really pursue happy thoughts, but instead need to get to an even keel, just need to get to a neutral ground. And that's what this video will be about. First and foremost, if you are suicidal, please contact the Suicide National Prevention Hotline. There are skilled individuals who want to speak with you and who absolutely want to help you. Before I dig into my tips, let me explain that I am not a trained professional. I am simply a person who experienced major depression. The most important thing that I did was coming to the realization that I am not my thoughts. Thoughts are generated through a multitude of causes, but they do not always originate from you. As a matter of fact, I would suggest that most thoughts don't originate from you. They're just things that you've latched onto and that are coming back at you from your brain through habit. Your brain will do everything it can to conserve energy. We've talked about this in the Power of Habit video that I did a while ago. And ultimately, it will create its own habits. It will present the same ideas over and over again because it will understand what are the things, what are the thoughts that you latch onto, and it will represent that information to you. If you take time to just sit back and watch the way your mind unfolds, you will see in time that there are patterns to the thoughts that you have. So becoming aware of your thoughts and knowing that they are not you and that you can choose to reject them is a powerful tool in overcoming depression. If you latch onto a thought that's undesirable, you can let it go, but it takes thought awareness. You have to practice meditation or at least be cognizant that you can observe your thoughts. Understand, truly understand that you can watch your mind and you can decide what thoughts are bullshit and what thoughts are legitimate. What is a thought that somebody told you a long time ago that made you feel like poo and you decided for whatever reason to cling to it? Maybe the thought was that you're ugly or that you're unproductive or that you're unhelpful or that you are unworthy. For whatever reason, that person was credible to you. Whatever the reason is, whether it's something you believed because it was a credible source or a number of people presented the idea to you, you can still choose to call foul, call bullshit. It does not need to be your truth. You absolutely have the power to reject thoughts that don't serve you, and I encourage you to do this. For myself, a thought that I had growing up was that I was a bad daughter. But the thing is, because I felt I was a bad daughter, I believed that I wasn't worthy of love, and I also believed that I couldn't do anything good. This could not be further from the truth. I helped people all the time. I did a boatload of good things. And I did a lot of things that made my parents proud, but I couldn't see that because I was convinced that I wasn't a good daughter. Once I realized that that was a lie that I had clung to, it was such an amazing and powerful release. When you reject a thought, you can choose to reach for a better feeling thought. I will tell you that, let's say your thought is, I'm ugly. A better feeling thought would be, I'm beautiful. That might not be achievable because you do have to have some level of belief and agreement with the thought in order for it to stick. So maybe instead of I'm beautiful, you could say, I like my eye color, or I look fit, or my skin is clear, or my teeth are straight, or I'm having a good hair day. Whatever the thing is, Find a thought that you can believe that you can replace the negative thought with. The reason you want to do this is because thoughts generate feelings. That low mood you're in that mood because you had low thoughts that brought you there. You aren't in a bad mood and then have bad thoughts. You had a bad thought that took you to a bad mood, and then you perpetuated the mood by clinging to those bad thoughts. Your objective to overcome depression is to identify the thoughts that you're having that are generating the low mood that you're lingering in, and then offer alternative thoughts that will bring you back to a neutral ground. In that prior video I did about being happier, there are exercises that you can do to increase your happiness. However, when you're in a really low mood, it's very, very difficult to go from that to happy. This video is to help you bridge the gap. I want you to be able to go from low mood to neutral. Once you're level set at a neutral place, you can work on being happier, which will increase spontaneity, creativity, productivity, etc. We talked about rejecting crappy thoughts and replacing them with better thoughts. Another thing that you really ought to do is choose what you feed your mind. Sometimes those bad thoughts don't even come from a person in your life or people in your life. It comes from the content that you're watching on YouTube. It comes from the content that you're watching on TV. It comes from your Facebook feed. You have to understand that just like your body, your brain needs something that can nourish it. If you eat poison, you will die. My recommendation for any of you struggling with the content that you have is take a break from social media if you need to, and look for things that are uplifting. Look for things that make you laugh. Look for videos that make you feel hopeful. You have the ability to curate the information that you see. Do it. The internet will feed you content that it thinks you want to see. It feeds you the content that you have been searching out or that you have been enjoying, participating, lingering in. Change that content and the internet will start to feed you different content. So make the active effort to look for content that is hopeful, uplifting, positive, inspiring. The more you do that, the more it will be offered up to you, and then it gets easier and easier, but you have to break the cycle yourself to begin with. My last two tips are great tips, but they are, I would say, much less important than the ones that I just gave to you. The ability to be aware of your thoughts, offer alternative and better thoughts, and then to feed your mind content that will help you to come up with better thoughts. That is the absolute most important thing that you need to do. But there are other things that you can do to make your life easier in absorbing all of that. One is make sure that you prepare yourself every single day. Get up, get dressed, wash your face, do the basic self-care things that you know you should be doing that you haven't been doing because you've been in a down mood. Get yourself dressed in proper attire so that you can feel presentable and like you're ready to walk into the day. Get sunshine. Find the sun. I don't know what it is about vitamin D in the sun, but it will improve your mood. It just always does. I don't know why this works. I think it is a biochemical reaction that happens from the sunlight and the vitamin D, so that's why I mentioned both of those. But even if you're unwilling to leave your house, sit by the window. If you're willing to leave your house, go to the mailbox, take a walk, go for a drive. Run an errand, and when you have a moment to linger in the sun, linger in the sun. There is something to that, and it can help you. And then lastly, serve others or do acts of kindness. It can be something as small as holding the door open for another person. It can be something as small as complimenting somebody's earrings. Just find an opportunity to do something nice for someone else or even an animal. I know people who struggle with depression and they go volunteer at a shelter walking the rescued animals. I think that's a beautiful thing because sometimes when you're struggling with depression, the last thing you want to do is actually talk to people. And if you're not ready to make that step, then maybe you can find a way to serve the animals. Just saying. There's opportunities out there for you to get yourself from the pit up to at least ground level. In closing, I will let you know that while I was able to overcome my depression without speaking to a therapist and without using antidepressants, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go speak to a therapist or get on antidepressants. These are tools that are within your toolbox for improving your life. And as long as you are working toward that better self, as long as you are trying to pursue personal development and improve your quality of life, then you are doing the right thing for you. And I just encourage you, absolutely encourage you to take those steps so that you can get in charge of your life. Because once you start taking control of one aspect of your life, other things start to fall in place as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.